from the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
The snow continues to fall over southern Wisconsin.
Some parts of the region have seen between 8 and 10 inches today. A winter storm warning remains in effect for us until 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. Our crews are monitoring things like road conditions as the storm pushes east.
Let's check in right away with meteorologist Dave Caulfield with the latest on what's happening outside. Dave?
Well, Eric and Charlotte, the snow has lightened up a little bit compared to the last hour, but still some light to moderate snow falling across portions of southern Wisconsin. Doppler track, you could see the last bits of this low pressure system continuing to circulate through the area, bringing some light to moderate snow to spots like the Dells, into Lone Rock and Boscobel. Snow has lightened up in Madison over the past hour, but expect intermittent snow shower activity throughout the rest of the evening. Winter storm warning in effect until 3 a.m. Some of us across the southeastern tip have a winter weather advisory in effect until the same time early tomorrow morning. In Madison, we're not seeing too much snow, but if you look at the sky, you can see just how fast the clouds are moving. Some strong winds are moving in right now. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 20s across southern Wisconsin, but those winds out of the northwest at about 15 to 25 miles per hour. That's sustained. We're gusting closer to 30 to 40 miles per hour, especially across southwestern Wisconsin. And as that low continues to move east, we'll get these strong winds to Madison by about 9 or 10 tonight. So blowing and drifting snow is a concern. And the wind chill making it feel like the single digits to the low teens across southern Wisconsin. Your day planner for tonight into tomorrow, the snow wrapping up probably around midnight to about 2 a.m. and then much better weather on the way for tomorrow. But we'll talk more about the blowing and drifting snow threat in your News 3 Now First Alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Dave, thanks. Snow plows have been out all day clearing up roads through this snowfall, and more will be out tonight. Jamie Perez joins us live in Madison with an update on the road conditions. Jamie?
Right, well, as Dave just said, the snowfall has tapered off a little bit, so hopefully that's given a chance for snowplow crews to kind of clear up the roads. And as we reported yesterday was the first time that they salted every road in Madison, so hopefully that'll help them out with their whole cleaning up process today. And this is kind of why it takes so long for them to get to your neck of the woods.
Snowing pretty hard like it was overnight.
We're finally getting all that snow we were looking for a couple of months ago, and now we're not only getting the snow, but the icy conditions that come with it.
Driving conditions are tough. With it actively snowing like this, even the work being done on those salt routes, even with those extra crews, is just going to be covered over again and again and again so long as it's snowing. So it's hard for us to keep up with all that.
With 1,700 miles of roads for them to clear, it takes snowplow crews longer than our average work days to get it all done.
But we just have a big city, so it takes some time.
Meaning 14 to 16 hours. And they're trying to do all this as it's still snowing, something probably a lot of us wouldn't prefer to do.
So they're going to be out there, and I personally never want to have to be behind a plow. It's a particularly difficult job.
While they deal with the traffic while trying to get everything done, they then have to clear the snow they just pushed off the streets to the sides of the roads.
It's a slow process, too, because it takes up multiple vehicles, and you're just scooping the snow, putting it in a truck, driving it away, and you got to wait for that truck to come back.
So as you can tell, there is a lot that goes into the process of every winter storm that we get. So just please, be patient as they get to your area or your neighborhood, and just be careful while you're out on the roads in the meantime. Back to you in studio.
Absolutely. Pack your patience. Jamie, thank you.
The interstate is closed tonight in parts of Juneau and Monroe counties. There have been several multi-vehicle crashes on the interstate all day, including this one in Tomah. No word on any injuries. Here's a picture of a crash involving a state patrol cruiser that also happened on the interstate in Monroe County. There is no word on if anyone was injured in that crash. Law enforcement is telling drivers to go slow and move over when you see first responders. You can get an update on road conditions for the entire state by visiting 511wi.gov. As you can see here, nearly all major roads in and out of Madison are blue, which indicates they are snow covered.
And many communities in our area are operating under a snow emergency declaration. These warnings typically have special parking restrictions, such as in Madison. The entire city must follow the alternate side parking rules. Here are some other cities, and we have a list of all of them online at channel3000.com. And all of this snow means good news for those who love snowmobiling. All of the trails in Dane County are now open. Grooming operations will start tonight on many of them, and many local businesses are preparing for their biggest day of the year as well, Valentine's Day.
But will the snow stop couples from celebrating? Amanda Quintana is here with the response from local businesses.
Yeah, well, Charlotte and Eric, the short answer is no. Valentine's Day is too special to pass up, especially for businesses that prepare for this day all year.
Well, you're used to getting through whatever it is.
After 35 years in business, this snow is no match for George's Flowers, even right before their biggest holiday of the year.
We didn't love it, but again, it's Wisconsin, so you just come up to bat with whatever you have to do. We were happy that at least this big snow happened now as opposed to happening in a couple days.
In a way, it worked out perfectly. The snow came after all the large roses were delivered from Ecuador and right before the 2 intense days of design and delivery.
We do have a good amount that actually will send for the 13th, because that way they'll have them to enjoy all day long on the 14th, but those are always your 2 busiest.
While classes were canceled at local schools, nothing could stop the George of George's Flowers.
This is George, and he is 94 years old. And
no, not old, young.
From showing up to work today.
I work the back room a lot, and I have people that come in and want to know about World War II because I participated in that. And there's not many of us around.
He and the rest of the staff knowing love happens, rain or shine.
I think Valentine's Day is a perfect place to be here.
Francesco Mangano expects his cozy romantic Italian restaurant to be packed just like it is every year. Reservations snatched up far in advance. He's so confident he started preparing a week ago.
This is going to be turned 3 times, so you're looking at maybe under 20, under 30 people, under 40. Even with casual and simple food, you cannot make it last minute.
Those in the romance business know love conquers all, even cold and snow.
So, of course, although these are not ideal conditions to get dressed up and go out on a date, this is Wisconsin, and couples, they're going to do it anyway.
And here's a creative way to use all of our snow to celebrate Valentine's Day. News 3 Now viewer Laura used food coloring to make these snow hearts. They are in front of her house on Highway 151 near Lake Joy. She hopes they serve as a reminder that the world can always use more love. We will have an update on this storm coming up in about 10 minutes from now during the first alert forecast.
A Madison man will go to trial on child pornography charges. This is in connection to the case of a missing teen. A judge found probable cause to charge 31-year-old Brian Rogers in federal court, ruled that he should remain detained until trial. He is accused of persuading a 14-year-old from Tennessee to record a rape and then send that video to him. Court records indicate after he saw the video, he didn't report it to police. Instead, he brought the girl to Wisconsin, taking steps to avoid being tracked. The defense argued Rogers only suggested she make a recording for evidence, and that came after he suggested other ways for her to get out. A 26-year-old man from Windsor has been charged with stabbing his roommate. Police say Evan Shalenga is accused of using a butcher knife to stab his roommate over the weekend in the village of Windsor. Deputies say they could smell intoxicants on him. Doctors say that the victim suffered 2 separate injuries. One was life-threatening. First responders are being honored tonight at the state capitol for their bravery in response to a workplace shooting in Middleton in September. And that's where Rose Schmidt joins us live at the Capitol to explain how they're being celebrated. Rose?
Yes, well, Eric, State Representative Diane Hesselbein nominated 4 officers as hometown heroes after they confronted a gunman at WTS Paradigm in Middleton back in September. The 2 Dane County deputies and 2 Middleton police officers received a standing ovation today from the State Assembly for their awards. Lawmakers say that those officers were nominated for their work and bravery during the shooting when they shot and killed the gunman. The officers thanked Middleton Police Chief Chuck Folk and Sheriff Dave Mahoney for their support amid what's been a pretty difficult time for them.
That healing process continues, and their heartfelt support and commitment to our needs has been absolutely invaluable. I know the 3 men who stand beside me today accepting this award are heroes. Without hesitation, they put their lives on the line to save others.
The Hometown Hero Award is presented to people who make a difference in their community. Heroes are invited as guests during an assembly floor session. Now, the officers also say that it's pretty difficult for them to accept gratitude that comes with this award, but they thank the other officers who are on the scene with them and say that they could not have done it without the other first responders who are on scene there with them.
Deflecting praise, some humble heroes. Live at the state capitol, Rose Schmidt. Rose, thank you.
The state Senate will take up a middle income tax cut measure tomorrow. The bill passed the full assembly today, but Governor Evers is signaling he won't sign it. The plan calls for a $340 million annual tax cut for middle income families. It would be funded through a one-time budget surplus. Democrats argue that it will be unfunded in future years and say it was rushed through the state legislature.
We are looking at providing a real tax cut to the middle class using the surplus that has been generated by good budget decisions over the last several years, $2.4 billion estimated surplus.
The fund money is only one time, and in the future years, you have to choose between cutting funding for public schools, the UW system, aids to local governments, or paying for a tax cut.
Governor Evers and Democrats introduced a competing tax cut bill. He's proposing paying for half of it by capping a corporate tax credit, something Republican leaders refuse to do.
Sauk County and state public health officials are recommending unvaccinated people receive a measles vaccination as several states continue to deal with a measles outbreak. Washington, New York, and Illinois have ongoing outbreaks. The Sauk County Health Department's recommending anyone 1 year old or over get the vaccination to protect themselves and those around them. Symptoms include fever, runny nose, cough, and rash, according to the release. Although measles is usually considered a childhood disease, it can be contracted at any age.
An exciting week is in store for a beloved badger.
And a new survey finds millennials are willing to pay for citywide perks like public transportation. That story and more next on News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. Things like public transportation and walkability are things millennials are looking for when settling in Wisconsin cities. A state nonprofit surveyed more than 600 college students around the state about their transportation needs. WISC found millennials are more likely to rely on public transportation than a car. The organization released its full report on the issue, highlighting Madison's commitment to walking, biking, and public transit systems.
For other generations, like the baby boomers, driving a car represented freedom and spontaneity, but millennials grew up in times of economic instability and are highly connected to technologies and smartphone apps that make it convenient to navigate public transportation, to call a ride, or to share a bike or a car.
The report says Madison, La Crosse, and Eau Claire are communities offering non-driving options such as bike networks, walkable downtowns, and public transportation. And these cities are attracting young people at higher rates than the rest of the cities in the state.
Chris Cruzy, the Barron, Wisconsin native who took second in the latest season of The Voice, is releasing his first album since his time on the show. His new self-titled album will be released on the 22nd of this month. It'll feature 8 songs, a mix of originals and his most requested covers. Pre-orders will get a signed copy and a free digital download. And former Badger J.J. Watt will be the first NFL player to serve as the Daytona 500 Grand Marshal. The race takes place this weekend at Daytona International Speedway down in Florida. The snow is still sticking around tonight.
And more is possible later this week. Dave's tracking this storm and the next one coming next in his first alert forecast.
Snow is creating a pretty nice backdrop for some pet photos. Now, this is Charlie out in the forest. He is currently training to become a service dog, but when he's not working, we are told, and there's evidence here to back this claim, that he loves the snow.
And we also got this photo by News 3 viewer Kenton. He says the Bay Creek neighborhood is closing in on 8 inches, and even the birds are wondering, when is this going to stop?
And take a look at this Cooper's Hawk. This is in the snow as well. News 3 viewer Jackson sent it to us from Richland County. A lot of beautiful photo opportunities. It is a pretty snowfall. Dave Caulfield, we just like it to end.
Yes.
I think most people around here are done with the snow.
Yeah, we can look at those pictures and have all the fun that
we'll remember them in the summer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can have that nice memory. But we'd like the snow to become a memory sooner rather than later. We are still seeing some snow shower activity across southern Wisconsin. You can see the extent of this low pressure system that's brought us some periods of heavy snow since last night. And luckily, the snow intensity has died down a little bit, but still some moderate snow showing up a little bit closer to La Crosse and Viroqua right now. As we zoom in, we could see there are some parts of the area. Not seeing any snow at the present time, but we're turning our attention not necessarily away from the snow that's falling, but to the blowing and drifting snow. Here is our time lapse on the Edgewater Skycam. You can see throughout the day, we've seen some heavy snow and we've seen some quiet periods of weather as well. We're in a quieter period of weather right now in Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. Looking at cloudy skies, today's high of 29, pretty close to normal for this time of year. So temperatures weren't all that cold today. However, our low temperature pretty close to that high with the clouds and snow around all day. We're actually a little bit above normal when it comes to our low. Winter storm warning still in effect until 3 a.m., mostly for the threat of some blowing and drifting snow. As this low pressure system lifts out of southern Wisconsin, we'll get on the backside of that low some pretty strong winds and gusty winds to come through over the next few hours. So the commute, at least this evening, not looking terribly bad, but especially later tonight, there could be some areas of less than nice weather, shall we say that, and especially in rural areas. 24 in Madison, 27 in Janesville, and 25 in Watertown. Those winds I was talking about, them out of the northwest at about 15 to 20 miles per hour, but gusting closer to 25 to 35 miles per hour closer to southwestern Wisconsin. And as the low pressure system moves to the east, as we get into tonight, those stronger winds will get a little bit closer to Madison over the next few hours. Tonight, snow is ending, but blowing and drifting snow will not be ending until we get into the early morning hours of Wednesday. Temperatures falling into the mid-teens. By the time we get to tomorrow, partly sunny, breezy, and colder. Much better weather setting up for Wednesday, but then we welcome in our next chance for a little bit of snow. We'll talk about that in just a little bit on Future Track. We noticed that we still do have some snow showers showing up a little bit later on tonight. Shouldn't be too much more in the way of accumulation, but again, the winds really start to become the main story. Blowing and drifting snow possible, especially in those rural areas. Some of those roads may be drifted over, so the commute tomorrow morning could be challenging just for that fact. Then as we get into the day on Wednesday, we're noticing the clouds clear out for a little while, so a little bit of sun is possible tomorrow before we get the clouds back with us Wednesday night. And then into later on Thursday, there is a chance of a little bit of snow and maybe some freezing drizzle into Friday morning, but that system doesn't look to have a major impact on us at all. So luckily, it looks like we're dodging a bullet with this next one. We just got to get through this first system first, and we can see that by the time we get to later tonight, wind gusts of about 35 to 40 miles per hour are possible. The 7 to 10 day forecast showing some quieter weather on the way for this weekend with temperatures near 20.
All right, well, it might be cold here, but we're just hours away from pitchers and catchers reporting to camp. We'll give you a glimpse of the Brewers' new spring training facility. That's next in sports.
Hi, I'm Michelle Carolla. Tonight on the news at 9, the Janesville School Board is meeting tonight to discuss possibly eliminating 5th grade band and orchestra programs in the district. An update first on Fox at 9.
Well, we've got a top 20 matchup at the Kohl Center as we speak tonight. It's the Sea of Red game, so hopefully that'll work out just as well as the whiteout did against Maryland a few weeks ago. 11th ranked Michigan State visiting number 20 Wisconsin tonight. Spartans have won the last 5 matchups against the Badgers. Right now, they're ahead by 3 points in the first half. Now, this team really growing up this year, and a big part of that due to the leadership of Ethan Happ, which head coach Greg Gard tells us is a role that he really grew into this year.
But I've been more impressed with how he's grown as a person off the floor, and just that whole personality component that you mentioned has grown with him, and that's it's a big part of, that is as important in terms of his impact on the team as what he does on the floor, because he's around those guys and with those guys, a lot longer than what we're on the practice floor or in a game environment with. So his impressions upon those younger guys and impression upon his teammates have really been positive this year, and it's a large part due to, I think, his comfort and his growth and his leadership.
To high school now, or lack of, I should say, thanks to Mother Nature. WIA wrestling sectionals were supposed to be tonight at 7, but they've all been canceled except for the one at Stoughton. We'll have highlights of that at 10. But tomorrow, the rest of the sectionals will actually happen. Here are the teams from our area competing. Wanakee facing Holman at Toma in Division 1. Prairie du Chien and Evansville Albany at River Valley High School. And Fenimore hosting Pecatonica Argyle. All those meets scheduled to start at 7 p.m. The WIA Boys State Swimming and Diving Championships start on Friday at the UW Natatorium. Now, among the competitors in Division 1, Madison West, Middleton, and Sun Prairie all expected to be very competitive for the teams from our area. And in Division 2, the usual suspects, Monona Grove, along with athletes from McFarland, Baraboo, and DeForest. Signs of spring. Pitchers and catchers report tomorrow for the Brewers, and this afternoon in Phoenix, the team cut the ribbon on a new spring training facility called the American Family Field of Phoenix. Now, here's what it looks like. The Brewers investing more than $60 million in the project. Position players report on Monday, and the team will hold its first full workout in exactly 1 week from today. Come on, don't you feel the spring-like vibes now? There will be 34 games in the exhibition schedule. Opening day on March 28th. The Brewers will host the Cardinals. Now, Tiger Woods has picked 3 vice captains for this year's U.S. President's Cup team. One of them is Edgerton native Steve Stricker. Tiger Woods is the captain of the team and made the announcement today. Fred Couples and Dustin Johnson are the other 2 vice captains that will be alongside Stricker. That's a total of 20 years of President's Cup experience right there. Stricker has experience as a captain, of course, leading Team USA to a win in 2017. And the Prep Mania Game of the Week returns after a hiatus due to the weather on Thursday night with a battle for first place in Big 8 girls basketball. Middleton and Sun Prairie both 13-2 in conference. You can watch the game with Jay Wilson and Bill Brophy. That's live at channel3000.com at 7:15 on Thursday night. Hopefully getting all this in due to the weather.
And hopefully the snow will be over by Thursday.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll see that snow dwindle down tonight, but blowing and drifting snow is possible tonight into early tomorrow morning. You can already see visibility is a little bit challenging across southwestern Wisconsin as we head into tomorrow. Temperatures in the 20s.
Dave, thank you. And thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.